We all need to agree that Martins has a lot to do on his temper. Like the rate at which his temper goes over the bar is very serious. Hey guys, welcome back to Sahara Movies. My name is Lydia and today I'm talking about Abattoir season 3 episode 5, and this episode was fire. Like, I don't know, like everything was juicy about this episode. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe for more videos and more updates. I do reviews on Abattoir and other interesting movies as well. Now let's get into it. So on the previous episode 4, it ended with Mr. Sawyer and Martins in the registrar's office. The registrar called Martins at the time that he was telling something to the officer that he should come to his office, just because the registrar thought that okay, he has father and son right in front of him, so he can just be automatically promoted. So when I was reviewing that episode, I was saying that at this point, Martin's shock of seeing his father will either make him walk out of the office or he'll stay in the office and face his father. Yes, he stayed in the office and he faced his father, but I understand what Martin did with his father, because if you haven't seen your father for almost 20 years, it's natural for you to react. It's natural for you to be very angry of the fact that he has caused so much harm to you. And I like the fact that Mr. Sawyer sacked the registrar before saying anything, because what he wanted to discuss with Martins was a bit private and was a bit personal, and the registrar didn't need to be involved. So I like the fact that Mr. Sawyer was confident about sacking the registrar before having the conversation with Martins. And Martins saying no to his father, telling him that he needs to pay for what he has done and all that. I feel it's natural. We are all humans. We have emotions. We will react to things that don't make us happy. We will react to things that cause us so much anger or so much pain. And that's what Martins was doing. He was actually in tears, because if you watched the season 2, the trauma Martins went through, and right now he's in a suit and tie, right now he's a lecturer, you know that this guy has really healed from something. He has moved from grass to grace. So Martin, seeing the father bent, he naturally felt like, okay, he's paying for the sins he committed. He's paying for the people he met their lives and all that. So I don't want to be involved in this man's life. If he has repented, let him repent on his own. If he feels that he's not going to go through justice, the natural justice, or the God will not punish him, then he should have his own mind and his own conscience of his own. Not knowing Martins was walking from grace to grass, like at that moment in the office. If you watched season 2, Martins has temper issues. Even with his conversations with Baba Gbenro, he refuses to listen. Like when Baba Gbenro is trying to tell him, someone made a comment on my video that Martins really needs to have a cool temper. Like he really needs to understand that Baba Gbenro tells him the truth, and he usually I don't know how to say, he feels that his decisions are right and all that, but he really needs to work on his temper. His temper issue made them think he was mentally unstable in season 2. They thought he was mentally unstable just because he couldn't control his temper. Like things annoy him and he likes to react immediately. Like his reaction on things that really bother him is something that eventually lands him into trouble. So Martins leaves the office. He says no to his father. Don't involve me in this your repentance thing. Leave me alone. You and I cannot work together. Everything is about power. I think Martin didn't really understand what the father meant, and the father also doesn't really understand where Martin belongs, because from Mr. Sawyer's angle, it felt like Martins belonged to a certain group and they give power. Yes, and then he also wanted that same power. Martin goes out, like getting out of the office, and then unfortunately he meets the registrar, and that is when he pounded on him. That is when I was like, oh Martins, you really need to control this temper of yours. Like you seriously need to work on it. Like I'm hoping that now that he's in prison, now that he has been arrested, he'll reflect on everything. He'll reflect on the fact that he needs to control his temper, because his reaction on things is causing him so much pain. Now that the registrar has gone to do a press statement or a press release that Martins is mentally challenged and no one should take what he's saying seriously, it is word against yours, because previously you were doing the same, that's kind of thing. So if he has accused you of being a mentally challenged person, it's something that I think people will believe it. Now moving forward, let's talk about Mr. Adebola and then Baba Gbenro. So Baba Gbenro, we know how Baba Gbenro has so much love for Martins. Like, it's almost like a real father and a son. And it's very beautiful. It's something that Baba Gbenro is an unending love. It's an unconditional love. The love that Baba Gbenro shows to Martins is very, very unconditional. He watches on TV that his son has been arrested, and they went straight to the registrar's office. So this is the issue I have with Mr. Adebola. You have a problem, I also have a problem. It's natural that when a problem is directly attached to you, the way you feel about it is totally different from the way someone else who doesn't have a direct attachment to the problem will feel about it. I don't know if you get it. So Mr. Adebola has lost his son, his biological son, yes. You have told this person, they are working on it, they are praying for it. The way you are feeling about your son's kidnap is different from the way Mr. Baba Gbenro will feel about it. He will show concern, he will pray to you, he will pray for you, but his love or the way he will react to it, the affection and the concern you give to your son's kidnap, it will be different. And I understand that Mr. Adebola is going through a lot. Like, he's really confused at this moment because the officer that he depends on so much or he believes in so much is not really giving him concrete results. So he's confused, but he raising his voice, getting angry. I'll say he's under stress, and Baba Gbenro is doing well by actually keeping him calm, because when he decides to go over the bar, Baba Gbenro just say, calm down Adebola, calm down Adebola. And God being so good, do you see the time that Flora was also preaching to Kayode? This episode was like an interconnected episode. Anything that happened was connected to something. The previous episode, Flora got a new convert, and then she was preaching to the new convert about Christ and all that. Coincidentally, we saw that Mr. Adebola was complaining that Baba Gbenro is not giving him the attention that he deserves. But when Martins was arrested, he has gone to the registrar's office. I get it. Have you also noticed that it was Baba Gbenro's house that Kayode came? And it was through Baba Gbenro's house that Mr. Adebola saw that Kayode is the one who kidnapped his son. Is the one involved in his son's kidnap. You see, some things happen and we just need to keep calm and then have patience. Honestly, I'll use the word have patience, because Mr. Adebola, yes, it's natural to be depressed, it's natural to feel that things are not working the way you want, but sometimes you don't need to carry your anger to others, because he was unnecessarily getting angry and putting his anger on Baba Gbenro for no reason. And I'm happy that now I think you should sit back and then analyze things. That okay, if it wasn't for Baba Gbenro, I wouldn't have met Kayode. And if it wasn't for Flora, I wouldn't have met Kayode. So I hope that he will sit back and appreciate Baba Gbenro in his life now, because right now, if he doesn't look at that appreciation, because he thought he had wasted his time in Baba Gbenro's house, Baba Gbenro wasn't showing him the love that he needed. But I hope that right now he will look back and realize that, okay, I think that Baba Gbenro has been very helpful to me. His help has been indirect, but it's very, very helpful to me. Now let's talk about the officer. So the officer was, like, things will hurt you. No matter how you decide that you are doing your work, you are doing your part, if you are not getting solutions, you naturally have a double thought about everything. So the officer was replaying audios of people's missing cases. He said he was with Shaolewale, he said he was with Gabriel, he said he was with Michael, like he said with Kayode. And then I'm beginning to realize that the officer has believed what Martins told him, that the registrar has an involvement in the kidnapping case. Initially when Martin told her, she was like, I don't believe in horror movies. I am not a fan of horror movies. But now looking back, I think the officer has believed what Martins told her. And the final part of what the officer did was amazing. He going to the registrar's office and then telling her some things. I don't know, it's like using some information, even if the information that you don't have that, it's not a tangible information, not an information that you have it accessible at your fingertips. He used it to threaten the registrar. And what she did, there are two ways about it. It's either going to be positive or it's going to be negative. So right now that the registrar knows that the officer and Martins know about his real intentions, his true intention, and he has told Rambo to get rid of Martins, the officer's life will also be at stake, because these people would go every mile to get rid of anybody who knows anything, especially about him, because when he meets Kayode, it's a bit secretive. Like it's people don't really know about his meetings with Kayode, and I don't think any of the occultic people will reveal that the registrar is part of them. So I like what the officer did. Though she has put her life at stake, I think that she did a bold thing. It was a very bold step that she took, going to the registrar's office and then threatening him. It is an indirect threat, because the registrar thought that he's on top of the world. Now he has solved the Martins issue. He has made them know that Martins is a lunatic. Martins is not fine, so he's mentally unstable. So he's they will not believe any word that he says. Which now I think Martins will reflect, like what Benro told him, his lawyer told him, that he should reflect on what has gone on in his life. He should reflect on everything. I believe that he will be calm. They don't really need to go and see a psychiatric doctor. I think when he changes his attitude, he should just stop telling the occult story, because no one believes him. At this stage, nobody is going to believe Martins if he tells them about the occultic thing. So he should just relax, not tell anybody about any occultic story, and then reflect. He really needs to reflect. In the same time, Mama Benro and the other people are praying earnestly for Martins, because at this moment he really needs to be saved. He cannot go back to square one where he started. His life really went all the way back when he was accused of something he didn't do. And now that he's setting back on the field, right now that he's ready to face life as it is, another trauma has just come along for no reason. I want to talk about the last thing. I'm talking about Mr. Sonia Bade, the registrar. Now, Rambo is the betweener among these three. In the last part, we saw that Mr. Sonia has gone to see Rambo. What job does he have for Rambo? Any predictions? What do you think Mr. Sonia has for Rambo that he's saying I have a job for you? What job do you think it is? But let me talk about the registrar and then Bade and then Rambo. So now the registrar has called Rambo that Martins is a threat now. We really need to eliminate him. He is a serious threat into my career and into this occult thing you are doing, because what you are doing, we pay you. It's a source of income for you. And if he exposes us, it means that you are going to run out of food, and you can't be able to cater for yourself anymore. And then Rambo also called Bade and told him that it's time for me to get rid of Martins. And then Bade was like, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. And the confidence that Rambo used to tell Bade that it's time for him to get rid of Martins, he has realized that, okay, Martins is no longer a threat. Initially, we thought Martins was part of the secret seer, but it has come out that he's not part, meaning he has no power. So I think this has given him the conviction that, okay, we can attack Martins at any time because he has no power, and moreover, his father has been excommunicated. So meaning that Martins is like he's very light. He has paperweight now. Oh my goodness, this episode was energetic. I really enjoyed every part of this episode. I really enjoyed every part of this episode. I hope you liked it too. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more videos and more updates. Let me know what you think about this episode, and let me know what your predictions are for the next episode. I forgot to add my prediction. So this is what I expect to come or to happen in the next episode. I expect that Martins will go through a little bit of trauma. Not trauma like trauma. He really needs to, have a feel of the cause he has created, because he assaulting a registrar right now. That is what the public saw. He has no evidence as to whether the registrar is an occult or not. And I don't know if he recorded anything when he went to the registrar's office. The second time he went to the registrar's office, they didn't talk about anything occultic. He only had a conversation with his dad, and that recording is not relevant if there's any investigation. So I think that he needs to really face a little bit of consequences, because he needs to pay for what he did, like assaulting, like in physical terms, assaulting. And I like what Benro told him, that you cannot fight, just go back and let God fight for you. You just cannot put the power in your own hands. Secondly, Kayode would lead them to Delhi, and I don't know how he's going to lead them to Delhi. Will he leading them to Delhi call for his arrests? Right now, I'm happy that the officer doesn't know that Kayode is in Baba Benro's house, or Mr. Adebola doesn't know the whereabouts of Kayode. So let them just cook a story and then find Delhi, and then cook a story to cover it up how they found Delhi. Because right now I feel that Kayode really has accepted Christ. From the way he had dreams and he was saved by God, I think that he has really accepted Christ. What do you think Mr. Sonya went to discuss with Rambo? Like he said he has a job for him. What job do you think it is? Let me know your thoughts in this. I'll do a different video on what job Mr. Sonya has for Rambo. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more videos and more updates. Till next time, bye.